Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome back. Welcome back, crew. Ooh, I'm probably in super fan only. Let me fix that. Uno momento. Uno momento. Super fan only right now. There we go. Good morning, wild child. Good morning. Hi. Good morning, Grace. How's it going? How's everybody? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday, world. Yeah, it's good. Early morning. I mean, I guess it depends on where you are in the world, wild child. I think it's 3 p.m. somewhere. Hey, Brandon. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I gotta move my brown to the front. There we go. How's everybody doing today? Thank you guys for those heart me's. Thank you for contributing to that heart me goal. Well, I am glad you're going to get to fall asleep to this live. Happy sleeping. Oh. Yes, wild child. You are definitely team no sleep. We are 3:18 in the morning. Oh, really? Already? I'll pay attention. I don't know if my mods have gotten here yet. You slept last night, Jared? That's awesome. Lunch break. A splash of purple. Good morning. Team no sleep, wild child. Leah, thank you for those heart me's. And congratulations, crew. You've already unlocked stage 1. Yeah, Amanda, right? And Andrea, thank you for that heart me. Wild child, this is Saffron. She is perfect. She's like, I am perfect. Yeah, Amanda, you're like, I'm here for it, team no sleep. So we're going to braid 2 live today. And as long as the weather is appropriate, we will do one of their tails. So this lady here, we're going to braid her mane in open mode. And then when we get to the next one, Yahoo, we will do Yahoo and Superfan. Kind of like yesterday, but if all goes well, we'll do Yahoo's tail. Right, Dizzle? Diesel? Well, that's kind of you to say. Oh, we have somebody had a little seam ripper issue. So how do I fix that? Well, I got to add in some longer hair from next door. So we're going to part it a smidge wider today. This is why I don't like natural. Wants a kip? I have no clue what that means. That is slang I have not heard of before. I don't know what a kip is. Good morning, Robin. How's it going, love? Susan, thank you for that heart me. Thank you, Elise, for that follow. Hello, Shelly. Good morning. I would be so good at doing knotless braids. You know, you are not the first person to say that. I have never tried doing knotless braids, so I have no clue. I'm a very good professional horse braider. Good morning, Bruce K. Good morning, Bruce. Robin, thank you for those Go Populars. We are currently not in a rain moment, but we've been having a lot of rain. So if all goes well, okay, I think this piece of yarn is a no-go. Let's try that braid again. We will do Yahoo's tail. This little lady here, I'm going to need to braid her tail later in the morning because she has some tail hair issues. So she will not be done live. Good morning, Jarpad. Oh, yes. It's really the same technique. Knotless is really... You guys, like, Knotless doesn't use yarn, though, right? I'm assuming Knotless... I mean, I don't know. Is that, like, do you sew those in? Or do you just stop braiding? Megan? No, it's just braiding hair. Okay, neat. I know. We're not in Superfan, though, Jarpad. Good morning, Christy. Wild Child, thank you for those party ponies. Knocking that party pony goal out, Wild Child. MVP, Wild Child. Can we get some W's and MVPs in the chat for Wild Child? Thank you for knocking out that peppermint goal. So what's a peppermint goal, guys? Well, those party ponies will get us to peppermint time. And this time, Wild Child, I remembered to bring treats for Fred. So not only will Fred get a treat, but the horses will too. You need to get your head straight. Well, that's important. I am very fast, yes. So that is a commonly asked question. Why do I braid the horses at the time I do? There's a couple reasons. The primary reason is math. The horses, I have a couple horses to braid. I'm actually braiding more than 2 horses. I'm just doing 2 live. And they all show at approximately the same time. And they have things to do in the morning. Not to mention they have anxious adults. So what does that mean for me? That means that everybody wants their horses done early so that they don't have to worry about if they have to go sooner, if the braids won't be done in time. They want to come in and they don't want to be stressed. So I need to have them essentially done when my clients come in the morning today. Now, that's not always the case. Many horse shows I braid into the day, but my adult amateurs are a little stressed out. Oh, thank you for updating that, Harvey. Trini, welcome in, love. Yep, we're at a horse show today. So we're at the USHGA Adult Hunter Festival. I thought it was the Adult Hunter Final because last week was the USHGA Junior Hunter Final, and I thought this was the Adult Hunter Finals, but apparently they renamed it Festival. I don't know why. Every horse here had to qualify. This is an invitation-only event. So why we called it Festival, I don't really know. Right? You know, it's time for bed. Vixen, thank you for those braiding unicorns. Cece, I'm glad you find it fantastic. Yes, as long as it's safe to do so, Bruce. So we've been having some severe weather. I don't think we're supposed to this morning. So my plan will be on the next horse, Yahoo. We will do his tail. He has a beautiful gray tail. But if the weather is severe at that time, then we won't be doing it. Safety first. 2, we're going to do this one's mane, and then we're going to do Yahoo's mane and tail in Superfan only chat. Interesting question. If these are for competition, are the horses dropped off and then I style their hair and then they pick them back up? That would be kind of like the equivalent of a horse salon, but it's more complicated than that. So I travel to the horse show and I meet my clients at their place of showing, at their competition. So I have to pay for all of my travel expenses to be here. And that comes out of my profits, everyone. At least they come out same day, sweetie. So we braided this horse yesterday live around the same time. Yep, I pretty much braid the same way every time. How did I learn to braid? I am self-taught. Vixen, thank you for those donuts. Hope you're doing well today, Vixen. Are you just heading to bed or are you just waking up? Which side of the coin are we on today, Vixen? This is yarn. So this is hair that I'm twisting right now. I add yarn in on the 4th twist. And then I tie it off on the 10th on the left side. Kira, if I braided it yesterday, why are we rebraiding? Well, the braids are removed daily, especially at a national final competition type horse show. And then we rebraid them so they look as nice as possible. Some horses are like toddler boys in their finest church clothes and find a muddy puddle and make it themselves disgusting at every opportunity. Some horses are super neat and clean. Every horse is different. But by rebraiding them daily, they have the neatest possible braids. This is a real horse. Her name is Saffron. These are great questions this morning, everybody. But to let everybody know the things that happen in the live. So I am a professional braider. You are joining me at work. I'm currently at the Kentucky Horse Park, and we will braid 2 horses. Now, live goals. We've already achieved our peppermint goal. So when I'm done with each horse, they will get a crunchy, lovely peppermint, which they thank you for. If we get all of those donuts in the donut goal, we will do another story time. If we achieve our Heart Me goal, we will do a shorter story time. And I will tell a story on each animal regardless. Do they have snacks and watch TV while I braid them? Sometimes. Sometimes I have horses that have a hay net right by where I braid them, so they will eat hay the entire time. Sometimes even their water bucket will be right there, and so they'll eat, they'll dunk their hay and they'll watch what's going on outside their stall. Why do we braid the horse's hair? It's for competition. This is just a pretty baby. Is your ear itchy, sweetie? Well, Jill, thank you for those donuts. Thank you for the compliment on the nails. I really like this set. It's my 4th of July set. And as it is America's 250th birthday, I got cake on my nails. See, watch. Thank you, Wild Child. Yeah. See, we got little celebratory cupcakes. This would be a very interesting head of hair on a human. Yes, thank you guys. Yeah, I have a lot of experience and practice with handling horses and braiding horsehair. Thank you, Elise. Luckily, my arthritis is not crying today. Is there a difficult horse I want to braid later? No, it's not that I have any difficult horses today, but not all of my horses are ones that I want to braid live. So we do 2. Yeah, I braid 1 to 15 Wednesday through Sunday most weeks. Now next week, everybody, next week's going to be a different type of live stream content week because I do not have a horse show. The horse show I was going to go to actually got canceled due to lack of entries. So I have a unexpected week off from braiding. So we're going to do some different lives. We'll do some story times. We'll do some more riding lives. We might plant flowers together in my front yard. I haven't decided yet. We might still do some braiding. I don't know. My horses could use some training braids sometimes. So we'll just have to see what we decide to do next week. But it's going to be a kind of a different setup next week. And then we will go back to normal. We'll be back on the road. And I will be back to braiding live Wednesday through Sunday for many weeks. Ellie Book Corner, good morning. I'm so excited, Vixen. Bruce, thank you for those roses. Well, how do we get to a spooky story? That's a great question. With 2,100 people in the chat, how do we get a spooky story? So we only do spooky stories when we get to 200,000 likes. So if we're tapping that screen, interacting, the chat can get a spooky story. Spooky story. We braid just to the right side. Yeah, most horses find this relaxing. Foxy Mama, unfortunately, this client, as kind as they are to allow me to live stream with their horses, does not want any accessories for finals. So no pom-poms, no charms today. Hello, Wild Potato. Happy Sunday. It takes about an hour to braid a mane. Yeah, I know, right? And I get it. Since we're at such a prestigious event, some judges are super conservative and they don't want any excuse to get marked down. I don't really think anyone's getting marked down for a charm, but anxiety. For some reason, my adults have more anxiety about such things than my juniors do, which is kind of funny. Sophia, how long is this mane I'm braiding? Well, Sophia, this mane kind of has some decent tails, but as you'll notice, the tail is not longer than the braid. So it's barely not longer than the braid, but it's almost as long as the braid. So it could be shorter. So right now, if I put my hand to the side, it's about an inch past my thumb, which that past my thumb is kind of the length issue. Now, why am I not adjusting it? At a normal horse show, I would not part them this small because she would get braided in like navy or hunter green. Honey, can we not lick the wall? I don't know why we're licking the wall, but that's turning our head a really weird direction. Is the wall tasty, Saffron? Apparently the wall is really tasty. She thinks it's tasty. So I don't want to shorten it because normally I would part them wider if they were in color. And the wider part would mean a bigger braid. A bigger braid means less leftover hair. Right? I told you, horses are like young boys. And I say boys because, in my experience, having raised two girls, neither one of them tried to lick the wall. But I definitely had a nephew who tried to lick the wall. Yep, it is currently 3:35 in the morning for me. Let's do a quick roll call. Where are you guys coming from? What time in the morning is it for you? Right? Yeah, it's just one of those things. I'm adding yarn. Eastern Standard Time. New Mexico, 1 a.m., 5 p.m., Cali, 1:30. We got some Team No Sleep in the chat. Ooh, yep. Team No Sleep. Australia. Good afternoon in Australia. Honey, stop licking the wall. Now, one reason sometimes horses will lick the wall is sometimes they're looking for salt. And I'm wondering if she's just wanting some extra salt. Because she didn't try to lick the wall yesterday. She does have a salt lick. Why are you trying to lick the wall? She's like, I don't know. We're going to just change your trajectory so the wall isn't the first thing. There we go. France, 9:36. About an hour, sweetie. How long does it take for me to braid a mane? About an hour. Nope, we're still going to lick the wall. So I'm trying to compensate for her twisting her head, because when she twists her head like that, it twists her whole neck. So then I have to twist myself to like stay in line. What time is it for me? 3:36, and I'm in Kentucky. Yep, it's only yarn. She does found a spot she likes. Malaysia, 3:36. I wake up early to braid. So I woke up at 12:45 in the morning. So just after midnight. It is currently 2:37 in the morning for me. So when did I go to sleep? I went to sleep and I slept from noon to 6 p.m. Woke up for like 3 hours, went back to bed, and woke up at 12:45. I have about like 10-ish more braids to do. She's a very patient girl. She's very good. Even if she finds the wool tasty. I mean, like, she's like legit just like trying to like lick the wool. I don't know. Can you guys see this? Cadence, that is a common question. The concern whether or not the braids are gentle or if they are uncomfortable. So what happens if the braids are uncomfortable for the horse? Horses are very good at self-adjusting. They have no clue how much braiding costs or how much effort somebody puts into it. So if a horse is uncomfortable, they rub, which means I will have to redo my work. So over 30 years, I have perfected my technique so that the horse is comfortable. Now, are there some horses that, like some people, that really, really don't like their hair braided and they'll rub no matter what? Yes. So what do I do about those horses? I braid them as late as possible so that they're braided as little as possible. Most horses, Fred? Thank you. Fred, corner. Fred's getting feisty over there. Do you guys want to know who Fred is? Who here knows who Fred is? Because we probably have some new friends in the chat. If you don't know who Fred is, say, no, I don't know. You want to see Fred? Me, Fred. Okay. So everybody who's joining us, I bring a dog along with me. I have two. I have two boxer dogs, Fred and George. Fred, you're in luck. Fred doesn't normally come to the horse shows, but Fred is with us and he is adorable. We're going to take a moment to say hi to Fred. Fred's like, hi, everybody. I was exploring. He's like, I do have my own sticker in Superfan that says, don't eat poo. She's like, don't eat my poo. But sometimes, right? Oh, yeah. Isn't he adorable? He's such good company. And he's a very good boy. Yeah. He does steal the show. Sometimes. So does his brother, George. What's amazing is they're twins from the same letter, but Fred and George have completely night and day different personalities. Fred is super sweet and shy and a little anxious, where George is very outgoing, doesn't have a shy bone in his body. Can I braid Fred? No, Fred's hair's not long enough. I have no clue if Superfan's on sale today. Do horses get lice? It's possible, yes. Have I ever, in my 30 years of experience braiding horses, ever seen a horse with lice? No. So in my 30 years of being a professional horse show braider and handling tens of thousands of horses, different horses, I've never seen lice on a horse. But is it theoretically possible? Yes. Aw, you love boxers. I love boxers. Ooh, in Sylvania. Jeez, thank you for that, Heart Me. The purpose of the yarn is you're going to see me make a shape with it. Draco Malfoy. They are named after the Harry Potter twins. Why am I braiding at 3 a.m.? I'm braiding at 3 a.m. because it takes a certain amount of time for me to accomplish the braiding on each horse, approximately an hour. And my clients want them completed before they arrive in the morning, at least their mains. So we have to do math. And I just start at that point. Ah, Jace, thank you for that tiny dino. That was adorable. I hope I get to do that next week, Jace. Anna C, thank you for those Go Popular. Jenica, thank you for those Go Populars. What was my nail color last week? Rainbows. I had pride nails last week. I'm not tired at all. I have slept more this week than I have in months. Normally, I braid a lot more than what I'm braiding right now and do not get the opportunity to sleep so much. But I had a day I slept 17 hours this week, so I'm feeling quite great. Ah, Vixen, thank you for those rock cats. Rust is always good. Angelina Drake, thank you for that, Heart Me. I know, right? Yay for Jen. Getting sleep. I did see something about encountered a horse that I'm guessing doesn't like it. Yeah. And then I have different modifications I do to make it more pleasant for the horse. How much is left? About 3 braids. And then we're going to tie them all up. Thank you. You think I could work doing human braids? I am definitely a fast braider. And I'm very gentle. But my horse clients would be extremely sad if I stopped braiding horses and started braiding humans. My saffrons of the world would be like, where did Jen go? Thank you for the compliments on my work. Appreciate that, everyone. Jace, thank you for those Go Populars. And I do think we're about ready to head into a story time. So every horse I do a story time. Normally during story time we would do a charm choice, but because she's not getting a charm today, we will just be turning comments off. Now, why do we turn comments off? That is because I really love answering your questions, and I'll be in the middle of telling a story and I will see a question like, do you unbraid them? And I will stop what I'm talking about and answer the question. No, I do not unbraid them. The owner of the groom does. And then all of a sudden I'll be like, what was I talking about? So we turn off comments just to help me tell a better story for you. And I also have to look at my cheat sheet. I know in school you weren't allowed to keep a cheat sheet, but here for my live entertainment, I definitely keep a cheat sheet of storytime ideas so that I do not forget what I was going to tell you. I lease a horse named Ralphie. Ralphie is not the first horse I've ever leased. What is leasing a horse? Leasing a horse means that you pay a fee to have use of the horse, and you pay all of the rest of their care costs. That would be for their food, their housing, their medical bills. You have to pay all of that. But in exchange, you don't have to purchase them, and you get to use the horse for riding, horse showing, whatever the contract says. Well, before I had Ralphie, when I came back to the sport in my 30s, had a horse that I leased named Jay. Jay was a lovely, wonderful return to horseback riding horse. He really helped me after my long break, like 15 years, no riding, get back into the swing of riding again. Because it really was not like riding a bike. It really was like never having sat on a horse, but also knowing everything about sitting on a horse and being incredibly frustrated with my body for not doing the things I knew how to do. When I haven't ridden a bike in 10 years, I can get on a bike and pedal the pedals and ride. That was not how riding went. Well, one thing that was a little bit difficult with Jay was catching him in the field. And one day, I was running behind for my lesson. And of course, like everything in my life, I was overscheduled and under on time. And I was supposed to have a lesson before I left to travel for braiding. And so I didn't have much spare time. And I also, if I was late for my lesson, this trainer would not wait for me. It just came off of my lesson time. So I arrive at the barn with 30 minutes to get Jay ready for my lesson. And I go to his stall, and he's not in it. And I took a big, deep breath and went, I'm going to have to catch him in the field. So I head out to the field, and he is out with his bros. Typically, geldings go out together. It's not that mares and geldings can't go out together, but most herd dynamics, it's a little easier with the horses being in a gelding herd and a mare herd and stallions going out by themselves. So I go out into his big pasture with his bros. Well, I feel like every gelding herd has that one gelding that really would care less whether or not he's turned out or not. And so there was the guardian of the gate is what I call them. Anybody who is familiar with horses is familiar with this guardian of the gate. They hang by the gate, and every time you pass through, I feel like you need to have like the special handshake of, yes, I'm safe to come in. No, you don't have to unalive me in order to let me in. Please let me through. So I open the gate. The guardian does the approval sniff. And I'm like, well, thank God I passed muster today. And I walk towards the back of the pasture. Mind you, this is like several acres of pasture. And I see my gray horse, thank you, Honesty, for those donuts, at the very back of the pasture. So I'm walking to the back of the pasture. His bros are walking up to me. They're like, hey, Jen. A lot of them I braid. A lot of them know me. So they come up, they sniff, they rub their faces against me, they blow. Oh, thank you so much for that lovely gift. They blow. Horses like to blow into each other's nostrils, so they'll come up and blow on your neck, breathe out. And so they were all coming up to say hi. And as I was about 100 yards from Jay perked up, saw me, and I was so excited. He saw me, he perked up, and he started trotting towards me. And I was like, oh, this is so adorable. He sees me, he loves me, he's going to come up to me, and I'm not going to have to walk so far. And then he started cantering, and I was like, well, that's a little fast. I really don't want you to canter head on at me like that. That's not preferred. But he's still coming right for me. And I was like, okay, he's coming right for me. He's just being a little fast. If I have to, I'll raise up my arms and make sure that he stops before he gets to me. And he keeps coming at me, and my hands are starting to come up because I really don't want to get run over. And then he does a drive-by. He literally looks me straight in the face, right in the eyeballs, lifts his head, tosses his hair like, I don't care, and runs right past me. And I turn around, and he's run to the front of the pasture. And I was like, okay, well, let's do the walk back. At this point, the whole herd is following me. They're all like, Leader Jen is here. Jace, thank you for the love. Leader Jen is here. We love Jen. Jen braids her hair. She's so wonderful. So I have 6 geldings following me. The one I need, Jay, is at the front of the pasture by the gate guardian. And I'm looking at my watch, and I've already used up 15 minutes with all of the walking and the shenanigans. And I was like, okay, I just walk up to the front of the gate. And if I just walk straight, keeping in mind not to walk so fast that I cause the herd around me to start stampeding and run me over. So I'm kind of going between the fast walk, like a walking competition, and not stirring the crowd. So I get to the front of the gate. I'm approaching Jay to grab his halter and clip on the lead rope so I can exit. And he flings his head and he flags his tail and he runs to the opposite end of the pasture. And as he's running away from me, his tail flagging like the energetic Arabian that he's pretending to be, I realize that I might not actually get a lesson today. Because if I can't catch this fella, there's no lesson, and I don't have time to spend the next 3 hours trying to catch him. Because if he doesn't want to be caught, because he doesn't want to do anything with me today, there's nothing I can do about that. That is just life sometimes. So I open the gate, go past the guardian. Now all the geldings are at the front, and they're all making a ruckus because they would like to come in with me. Only my lease horse Jay is being the one who's running away from me and says no thank you. Probably knows it's time to go to work. So I go into the barn and I grab a peppermint. And I grab 2. And I head back out. At this point I have about 10-ish minutes before it's like, I got to give up because I'm not going to get him done in time, and I'm not going to get a lesson, and I might as well head out and call it a day. So I walk out, and Jay has come back up to the front with his bros because everybody's at the front and he doesn't want to be by themselves. That's common for herd animals. And he looks at me and he starts to trot off. And I grab the wrapper and I crinkle it, and his ears perk up. And he looks at me and I'm like, hey, Toxic. Thank you for those gifts. And I was like, but everybody perks up. So that's a disadvantage of going into a herd space with a crinkly wrapper, is that now everybody wants the peppermint. So as I'm trying not to get run over by everybody trying to get to me so they can have the crinkly peppermint, I walk out to Jay and I crinkle the wrapper and I try to get the lead rope on his halter, and no go. He keeps avoiding the lead rope and wanting the peppermint. And I was like, okay, well, maybe if I give him the peppermint, he'll be still for a second and I can clip on the lead rope. So I open my hand, he takes the peppermint, and he tears off like a bat, like a biker at a rally. Like he is a need for speed. And this is when I was really happy I brought the second peppermint. So I crinkle the wrapper and he comes trotting up to me, tail flagging, ears forward, ears perked, tries to take the peppermint out of my hand, and I'm like, shame on me. First time's my bud. Now we're actually going to make sure that I catch you, or we're not getting the peppermint. So he comes closer, and I get real lucky, and I grab a hold of his halter, and he flings back, and I crackle the peppermint in my pocket, and he sniffles my pocket, grab the peppermint after I've attached the lead rope. He gets his peppermint, and now we have to get through all the guys. So I'm shooing horses away. I am pretending like I'm an octopus with 10 tentacles as the horses are all trying to get at me and get at him, and feet are flying and teeth are coming out, and I'm like, please just make it out of here in one piece. And we do. And the geldings are unhappy. But I make my lesson only 10 minutes late, and only with a slight chewing out from my trainer about how I need to have better time management. And that is my shenanigans with getting Jay. Not every horse is easy in every way. Now, Ralphie, on the other hand, that sucker, without any peppermint or anything, will come trotting up to me in the field and follow me back to the gate without a lead rope or halter on. That one definitely has a different bond with me than Jay did. Okay, we can turn comments back on. Anybody ever have that type of experience with an animal where they just didn't want to, but you had to trick them into wanting to? He was a very good boy that day for the lesson, though. Yes, that is yarn, my new friend. This is yarn I'm using to make the shape so the braids stay parked on the horse's neck and don't bounce. Yep, right? This is a real horse. Her name is Saffron. That was a rough, lucky guess about the peppermint. Before that, I had not tried to catch him with a peppermint before. That was my first time trying to catch him ever in the field, and I had no clue he would be a difficult catch. How do I undo the knots? If you go over to my profile, second series, how do you get to my profile? You click on that profile picture in the left-hand corner, From there, you can click on it again, and it will take you to my profile. The series is underneath my bio, and the very first one is commonly asked questions. The second one, if you scroll, the second series is braid removal. Good morning, Joey. How are you doing, love? I'm doing great today. Happy Sunday. Yeah. Happy Sunday, friends. Happy Sunday. Yeah, can't full speed at you. Yep. Stallions do like to grate. You just gotta be careful that they don't grate with their teeth. What time is it for me? It is almost 4 in the morning. 3:57 to be exact. Yes. Yeah, I can't reuse the yarn for braiding. I need it to be, sometimes we do in the terms of like if I run out of a color, then I will painstakingly use the long pieces and manufacture how to do it. But in general, no, we don't reuse the yarn for braiding, but sometimes it can be used for craft projects. Do I unfortunately waste a lot of yarn? Yes. Oh, Brooke, I'm so sorry you've been sad. Hopefully this makes you feel a little bit more soothed. Yeah, Saffron finds it very relaxing after having her licking the wood moment. Oh, it's 10 a.m. in Denmark. My most common color I use is navy. Navy is the color I use the very most in my career. I go through like probably like 6 skeins of navy a month on average. Ooh, 9:58 a.m. in South Africa. I cannot keep the horse still. So that is a common misconception. As a human, I can't make the horse really do anything. The only thing you could kind of make a horse do is go forward. You definitely can't make them stand still. So I invite them to stand still. How do I do that? I keep a very calm demeanor. I keep things very relaxed, and my vibe is very relaxed, and then she relaxes. Horses are herd animals, and they tend to mirror emotions and energy levels. So if I came in here high energy and like essentially directing a lot of energy at her, she would perk up and be more energetic herself. London, tell your friend happy birthday, friend. How many are left? I have 4 more to tie up, and then I'm going to tie off, trim the yarn, braid her forelock, and then we're going to go braid Yahoo. Now, Yahoo will be in Superfan Only Chat. Superfan Only Chat is my last horse I braid live every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now, next week, I might have a Superfan Only story time to make up for the fact that we don't have Superfan Only chat on a horse. I'll figure it out. I always try to take care of my super fans. Their patronage is really helpful for the support of the Carrot Fund for my horses. So I want to make sure that they get their value. What? Oh, you're okay, babes. Right now it is 4 a.m. Your mom? Yeah. You can always listen. Right? Not everybody can be a super fan. Completely understand that. But one of those for the people that do, it's an expensive membership, so I want to give them good value. Is there a reason I knot the braids like this? Yes. It is a technique that I've developed over 30 years, and every knot has a reason. Now, there is different braiding styles for different disciplines within horses. So depending on the discipline, what's a discipline? It's not like a punishment or a... So discipline for horses isn't the same meaning as the word discipline for a human. So discipline in a horse would mean what style of riding you do. So that's English, Western, dressage, jumping, reining, barrels. We refer to those as disciplines. So there's multiple meanings to that word. This horse is a hunter. Does that mean that she goes out and hunts animals? No. It's just the name of the type of riding that she is doing. Hello, pretty cute. Welcome in, love. Glad you made it. Hey, Bruce. Thank you for that perfume. Yay, pretty cute. What time is it there? It's 4:02. This is not my horse. So unless we're doing a riding live, when I ride if I'm riding a horse, it's most likely mine. Not guaranteed. And by mine, I mean the ones I lease. There we go. She is very pretty. Why do you not want the braids to bounce? That's a great question. So if the braids are bouncing, it can distract the judge and distort the line of their neck. So the whole point is to make it so that the judge can clearly see the line of their neck. They are judged on a standard in the judge's mind of what the judge would like to see. And the braids help the judge see their form. Bruce, thank you for those roses. And if they bounced, it would distort the line. Yep, I sleep during the day. Yesterday, I slept from noon my time to 6 p.m. And then I went back to bed after a couple hours of content creation and answering comments and the like. Because pretty much this week I've been sleeping, braiding, eating, and content creation. I am very nocturnal. In the horse community, braiders are sometimes called vampires. Sometimes, to be funny, when the sun comes out, as a braider, I will have this dramatic moment with my clients where I'll be like, the sun, it burns my flesh, I'm on fire. Because a lot of braiders' goal is to be done before the sun comes up. Because one of the advantages of this job is being able to choose your hours. As long as I have the horses done before they horse show, I have discretion over what time they get braided. The general standard for my area is to not braid them before 10 p.m. the day before. But in some states, it's earlier than that. California, I think they start braiding at as early as 8 p.m. because the horse shows are so much... they just have different standards. But for us, 10 p.m. is the earliest. Yes, we have lots of Team No Sleep, Brooke. I am not on Team No Sleep this week, though, which is weird. I'm on sleep, plenty of sleep. Team Plenty. The braids come out same day. So her braids will probably be out by noon today. So they will be in for like 6 hours. Okay. We're going to give her peppermint, which she will like. Kaylin, how do you start a business? I can tell you how I started my business. but there is lots of information available because depending on what country you're in can mean different things. But for me, I started my business as a sole proprietor here in the United States, meaning I used my personal name as my business name. And I filed taxes and made quarterly payments based on my expected income or on what I made the year before. I was really lucky though that there was such a great demand for braiders that I had people reaching out to me, so I didn't have a hard time necessarily getting clientele. Now, I did walk around horse shows when I was younger and during the day and would go up to every barn and ask if they had a braider. I learned real quick, other braiders really hate that. I'm filming with a chest mount, Sophie. I'm in the United States. Natalia, thank you for those braiding unicorns. Brooke, no pom-pom for these guys. We're really boring. Real boring. Ooh, we're going to give Fred a treat too. Fred would like a treat. Right? Fred's like, oh yes. You want to see it? He's like, no, the ground is gross. He says, Mom, the ground is wet. It's raining. I don't want to sit. Yeah, Danica, not Patrick. I would say good morning. It's good evening if you haven't slept yet. For me, it's good morning because I've already slept for the day. Okay, everyone. I'm going to answer this one more time because then we're going into super fan only chat. The question is, why do you braid at night? Maxie, we're fine. I braid at night because there is a certain amount of work I need to get done before the horses' horse show. And the horses don't just get braided in the morning. They also have to get baths, fed, ridden. So I have to work around the schedule, which means when I do the math of when do the horses need to be done by and how many horses, and they each take an hour, I am not trying to clean you. What time do I need to start? And that is when I start my braiding. Okay, guys. So we are going to enter Superfan only chat because this is my last horse of the week and of the night that I will be doing live. This should be a mane and tail. We will do a story time. And if we get to 200,000 likes, we will do a spooky story time. Spooky story time. So thank you for being here. Yeah, Brooke. I'll put you back to sleep, Brooke. And Team No Sleep, hopefully I'll put you back to sleep. Yahoo is a pretty steady Eddie. I do think he does not want his hard-won manure stain to be left. Because when I put water by his head, he was like, oh my God, I'm melting. So hopefully you've enjoyed the show so far. And I will see you guys later. I know, we love Freddie. Right, Danica? Fred's like, hi, Danica. I go boys. I go boys. And my little thing here is doing so much better after Mom's put antibiotics on it all week. Whoa, 2 mods muted you. That's pretty impressive. Come on. Welcome in, super fans. On a C, Team No Sleep. Now, his mane's really fluffy. He has really fluffy cotton candy hair, which squishes well, but can get like fuzzy looking. So spraying on the top and the bottom really helps it come together. I don't know why my moderators, Christy, Wild Potato, I've been having these funny memes come up on my TikTok feed about mods being so protective. And it makes me think of you guys. Like, I was like, yep. Right, Christy? Other live streamers are like my mods when anybody comes into the room, and then it's like a GIF. Yeah. And I was like, yep, that's my mods too. Right, Trin? Yep. Right, Trini? You guys are like, yeah, that's not going to fly here. Yep. I love my moderators. Love my super fans. Love all of my community. And we can always tell who is a community member and somebody interested in being part of the community and somebody who is here to stir up trouble. And that's why we have moderators, to prevent the stirring. Right, guys? Thank you for those follows. Yeah, guys, if you have been joining us for the last hour or the last minute, but enjoying the content, enjoying the show, enjoying the horses, feel free to give a follow for more horsey content and more live streams. The reason why my account is called Jen Braids Live is because I braid live. Live braiding. This is an interesting transition, Yahoo. Right, Vixen? Oh, I am looking forward to actually having 4th of July off, though, guys. You know what would be fun? Maybe because what day is the 4th of July? What day is 4th of July? Does anybody know? Somebody look at a calendar. What day is 4th of July? Part of me is wondering if maybe I could do a live and we could do like a camp, like a fire time spooky story live. I think that would be fun. Saturday? Yes, I think on Saturday we should do a campfire. My husband can get the fire pit going, and we can do like a spooky story time live. What's sad is I almost need to do it at like 3 o'clock in the morning so that everybody who normally can participate. Right? Oh, that's not exciting, Trini. Yeah, I've been hearing about the heat waves over in the UK. You guys aren't really equipped for them. I even hear that like air conditioning is not as common. I can't imagine not having air conditioning in 86-degree weather. Do you have air conditioning, AC? Trini? Really, Amber? That's terrible. Now, do you guys know the air conditioning trick though? So if you have a fan, one way to get a air conditioning like effect is to put a bowl of ice in front of your fan, and then the ice will melt, and that coldness of the ice with the fan will spread cooler air. Supposedly that works. So if you have a bowl of ice, try putting it in front of your fan and see if that makes you cooler. Wow, Foxy Mama, that's insane. And you tried that yesterday, we're melted within 10 minutes? Yeah. That would probably be the problem, right? Did it work for the 10 minutes? Hi, Shadow. Is it hot where you are, Shadow? I feel like Africa should be hotter than the UK. The ice trick helped during a hurricane for you? There we go. Yeah, try it if it gets bad, even if it's for 10 minutes. I can't sleep with a heat wave. Oh, that's so hard. The other thing, too, is putting ice packs on your... Oh, it's winter right now for you? How warm does it get in the winter? For you, Shadow. Oh, what I was saying is when it's really hot, putting ice packs on your back of your neck, groin, stomach areas can help you cool down, because those are major places where you release heat. So cooling down those areas can help you cool down faster. Yep, there you go. Oh, wow, Danica, not Patrick. Yeah, the window units do help. I cannot imagine being in my camper without AC. It's so hard to sleep when you're all sweaty and sticky. Really hard to sleep. Anybody else have any other tips for staying cool in the heat? Ooh, that's a good tip, Danica. Jace, thank you for those braiding unicorns. You know what's really funny? Whenever I do automated like captions on one of my videos, it almost always uses the word breeding instead of braiding. So it must be how I say braiding that sounds so similar to breeding. Oh, you poor thing, Alex. Right. You know, nothing wrong with walking around in a bikini. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, did you do the same thing before refrigerated? Yeah. That makes sense, Vixen. Yeah, air conditioning is just so common in the United States. I know very few people that like, almost everybody has air conditioning. It's probably my accent. That is so true, Alex. Oh, sticking the hat in the freezer. I know, it's not even summer yet. Oh, yes, that's a good point. Blackout curtains are great for reflecting the heat. Especially if you have white at the street side so that it's not absorbing, but then you have black on your side. Ooh, yes. You know, Wild Potato, during heat waves, we will actually freeze apple slices, carrots, and such in like big chunks of like in a bowl. So the horses will cool off with the ice treats, so to speak. Put a bed sheet in the freezer. That's a great idea. Yes, the heat reflectors for your car windshield. That is such a good idea. Oh, you guys are full of great ideas. I didn't think about bed sheets in the freezer. That's such a good idea. I might have to use that one, Shadow, during like a menopause hot flash. There was one time last year, little whatever that bug is, I had to sleep in my camper without air conditioning. But now you want to sleep. You know, I'm really blessed, Danica. I have one of those stand-up freezers in my garage, so I could definitely get a bed sheet in a freezer. Ice chests are great for that. Jay's night sweats are terrible. Oh, yes, Trini, that's so true for your doggos. Ice lickets for the doggos. Stacy, Robin, thank you for those donuts, loves. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome in. We're talking about ways to beat the heat for our UK friends who are experiencing a heat wave with not necessarily much resources to combat it, like air conditioning. Stacy, you're so kind. Robin, you guys are both great. Thank you so much for those contributions to Storytime. UK and Europe, right? Yeah, all of Europe is in a heat wave. I wonder what they're doing for the horses. Probably fans. Horses we also will spray down with water and scrape, and that helps them get cooler. Ooh, a wet sheet with a fan. That's a great idea. Versus just a bucket of ice, putting a wet sheet. Now, do you put it over the fan or like in front of the fan, like hang it? I would imagine you would hang it in front of the fan. But not on the fan itself if you can help it. Oop, okay. Nothing like me hitting my own phone. Oh, on yourself. Ooh, that's a great tip. Okay. There we go. That's a great tip, Shadow. I wish I would have had that, Shadow, when I had to stay in my camper. So, there was one day last year, guys, where I did not have a camper spot here at the campground. The only spot available was in primitive non-electric. So they have different sections of the campground. There is a section of the campground where you reserve a site and it has electric and water. There is a free-for-all section that has electric, but only a certain amount of electric, and you like first come, first serve. Well, I had not anticipated staying for another week, and my spot was done. And I thought I would just get one in primitive electric. Well, none of the plugs were available, so I had to rough it for one night as I waited for my next reservation without electricity. And I was like, I can camp. That makes sense. Put him out in the field. I can camp, right? I've been camping in a tent. It's like glamping camping in my camper. That it couldn't have been further from the truth, guys. It was definitely not glamping out of my camper. It was definitely way warmer in my camper than in a tent. So I have all of the windows open, but there's like no breeze going through. No breeze at all. Like I am just laying in bed, sweat dripping off my face. And I'm like, am I going to sleep at all? Good morning, Rhonda. I did eventually sleep, but I woke up thinking I had taken a shower. I was so damp. I did not smell great either. Night sweat is not something that smells good. So from now on, I've always made sure that I have a camper reservation with electric so that I can use my air conditioning. We like air conditioning. Oh no, Wild Potato, you were sick. Vixen, thank you for that drum pop. That's such a cute animation. Those were the cutest little drum set ever. Yeah, the heat and not being able to do anything about it is pretty horrible. Yahoo's people are arriving, Jen. Yeah, I'm aware. It's only 4:30 in the morning, but the grooms are coming here across the way to start feeding and such. Yahoo might decide that he really would like to be fed too. I don't like that. There we go. Oh, Anna C., thank you for that, being the title gifter of It's Match. I'm not familiar with that gift. Match time. Jace, thank you for those Bloom Melodies. Shadow, thank you for those breeding unicorns. And for that Daily Heart Me. I don't remember who sent it, but thank you for the Daily Heart Me. Thank you for the Bloom Melody, Jace and Anna C. Those are really pretty. We like singing flowers. Like singing for the morning to arrive. We probably should do our story time before it gets Two pumping here. Thank you so much for all those donuts and for another story time, Stace. Thank you. MVP of story time, Stacy. MVP of story time. You are the MVP of Storytime, Stacy. Thank you for sponsoring Storytime today and so many days. Vixen, thank you for that space cat. That's super cute. Yeah, it does. It is sad that the AC isn't really accessible in the UK. Oh, yes. Next goal is 200,000 likes. We're only like 30,000 likes away. And then we got Spooky, so I got some stories to tell. I probably need to get going on that. Okay. Oh, yeah. So for this one's story time, we're going to talk about pony finals last year. So last year during pony finals, I was braiding on Saturday, and I had, like always, very specific times I was to braid all my horses. And I had one pony in particular that was a diva of a pony. She was a dapple gray mare, and she had real opinions on her braids. She didn't like them too tight. She didn't like them too loose. They had to be perfect. She also did not like to be braided for longer than 4 hours. At the 4-hour mark, she would be like, I am done. This hair is coming out. Whether or not you take a seam ripper to it or not, if she had to, she would take her back feet and she would rub until the yarn would break. So I had to time her very carefully. And here I am coming in for her scheduled appointment time, and I roll up in my car to drop off my stuff before I go park, and there is a teenager braiding my pony. And I get out of my car and I was like, what are you doing? At this point in the week, I'm kind of blunt. But I was like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm braiding this pony. And I was like, who asked you to braid the pony? And she's like, the trainer. And I was like, what is the trainer's name? And she's like, well, I don't know. And I noticed that her mother is also sitting in the car down the way, and her mom pops up and she says a trainer's name. And I was like, well, if you come with me, get off your ladder, look at this banner. That is not the trainer's name. What was the stall number you were supposed to be braiding at? And she was like, well, I need to be at barn 6. And I was like, this is barn 5. We are in barn 5. And she's like, oh my God, am I braiding the wrong pony? And I was like, yes. And she's like, oh no, well, you can use my braids if you want to. And I was like, that's really sweet of you. I'm probably going to rebraid her. And she's like, well, then do you want, I was like, go ahead, go braid the pony you need to braid. I'll take care of it. And I walk into the stall, and she has not been tied up, but I don't know how long she's already been braided. And we have a ticking time bomb of a timer for this pony. And I look at the braids, and they are braided with rubber bands. And she is pissed. Oh, my pony is pissed, guys. She is like, rubber bands are beneath me. They are tight. They are squeezing my hair. And she is incredibly unhappy. So I have to make some decisions. First off, I got to take these braids out. So I go to town, getting the braids out. So I get the braids out. I now don't have very much time to braid her, but she is pissed, Vixen. And it's pony finals, and she had gotten a ribbon the day before, and like we were hoping for a top 50. Actually, we were hoping for a top 20 finish, and she's pissed. She's pissed. So I'm like, well, I got to give her like a break, because if I don't give her a break, she, like, her ticking time bomb of a timer is going to go off before she horse shows, and she's going to rub the bejesus out of this and ruin her chances. So I leave her stall. She immediately goes to town rubbing her unbraided mane. I mean, she's laying on the wall. She's rolling. She's shaking. She is throwing a equivalent of a pony tantrum in this stall. And I'm just sitting outside of her stall watching all of these things happen. And some people might have thought she was colicking. She was being such a drama queen. But I knew the pony. I knew her reactions to certain things. And I was not surprised by this reaction from her. About 15 minutes later, she takes a deep sigh, shakes her head, and starts eating. Oh, Stacy, the dramest of the dramas queens. And I go into her stall and she looks at me. And she headbutts me, which to her is, yes, I'm ready again. And I stand next to her and she falls asleep while I'm braiding her because I know, drama. I know how she likes things. And I get done braiding her just as the owners walk in. And I was like, hey, heads up. This is a situation that happened. And the owner's like, well, that explains why the one next door that's 4 years old and has never been braided has braids in it. And I hadn't even realized that this poor child not only had braided my diva of a pony, but the pony that was there for sales opportunity, who was 4, and had never had braids. And she was braided with rubber bands. She had already rubbed out 3, because rubber bands are not as sturdy as yarn. And she was, I think, a diva in the making, because she looked at me like, I don't like this. This is not how I like things. But my pony went on to have a top 20 finish. She did, as soon as she walked back to her stall, start rubbing her braids and had to have her braids removed immediately because she had had enough for the day. Oh, time to change out the headlamp. But that is how particular some of my pony clients can be, and that they are very much determined that they have a specific handler, specific braider, and they know the difference between experienced and not experienced. And there's nothing wrong with somebody starting out and gaining experience. We all got to start somewhere. But definitely the horses, not every horse is tolerant of somebody learning to braid versus having a professional braid them. And this diva mare was one of them. Danica, this kid used multiple rubber bands. It pulled a lot on the horse's hair because of the rubber bands. So I think that's why they were so uncomfortable. It's possible to do with rubber bands, but it just creates a lot of tension, which is why it's not the standard practice here. Sometime I should try to show you guys what that would look like, though. It's a much different shape because it obviously can't make the same shape because it's rubber bands and not yarn. So now we have a spooky story time and a donut story time. Super fans, which one do we want to do next? Donut story time or super fan story time? Or spooky? Spooky or donut? What do we want next? Donut, spooky, spooky, spooky. Spooky. Pierce is like spooky. Okay, we'll do spooky next. Especially since our title gifter of donuts, Stacy, voted towards spooky time. So let's do spooky time. Chat in the background. We're going to get into spooky mode. 1 second. I had a spooky story time prepped that I wanted to do. And this is why I have a cheat sheet, because I'm already like, what was I going to do? What was I doing? Ah, yes. For this spooky story time, we're going to have to go to January a couple years ago. So, it's January. There is 4 inches of snow on the ground. I am braiding for an account who has come from Texas. We're at the World Equestrian Center, and we are in Barn K. So, this account had requested that when I was done braiding the horses, to give the horses a snack. This is not an uncommon request, depending on the horse's routine. A lot of horses benefit from having a midnight snack or a 3 a.m. snack after they're braided. It distracts them from the braids. It gives them a good buffer for their tummy. So it is not uncommon. So here I am, just having finished braiding one of their horses, the very first one of the morning, and I go to their food room to grab a flake of hay. And as I grab the flake of hay, I pick it up and I start walking, and out drops, practically on my feet, a snake. If I said I didn't scream, I would be lying. This snake was completely out of left field for me. I mean, it's the middle of winter. Why on the earth would I think there would be a snake in the hay? And it curls up in a little ball, and it looks at me, and I'm trying to step away from it. It does not have a rattle, thank God. But I'm looking at it, and I was like, what do I do with the snake? So I back up, and it uncurls itself, and it starts wiggling down the aisle. And it's like 20 degrees outside. And it was like a striped snake. So I have no clue. I don't know what type of snake it was. I know rattlesnakes and gardener snakes from Michigan, Midwest area. I know nothing about desert snakes from Texas. Nothing. I had no clue that a snake could travel across the country in a hay bale. But now I have disturbed its rest, and it is pissed off. So it's going down the aisle right towards where I need to go. And I'm like, what do I do with this thing? Is it going to go in the horse's stall? Is it venomous? Do I have to worry about it having venom? I don't know. Right, Stacy? I don't know. And I try to call security, but lo and behold, there's no service. And I'm like, what do I do now? So I'm staring like a girl who's never seen anything dangerous in her life, and just staring at this snake curled up behind a tack box at this point, and wondering what to do, when I got really lucky and Night Watch came down the aisle. And I turned towards him, and I was like, Scott. And he's like, oh my God, Jen. Turn down I was like, there's a snake. And he's like, what is there a snake doing here? And I was like, well, it is a barn from Texas. They must have brought their own hay. There is a snake behind that tack box. And I am being the ultimate girly girl. I am standing behind Scott. I am pushing him forward like he is the sacrificial male lamb of the night. Does he mind? No, he's a gentleman, and he was going to defend me. And he looks behind the tack box, and he goes, Jen, have you been sleeping okay? And I was like, yeah, why? And he's like, there's no snake. And I look behind the tack box, there's no snake. And I was like, Scott, the snake was just there. It has stripes. And he's like, it's striped? Well, then it could be venomous. And I was like, I don't know if it has venom or not. And he's like, okay, chill. And so we're looking around. He's looking around. I'm pretending to look because I don't want to find the snake. But he's a dude, and he thinks this is interesting that there is a snake here in Ohio, in Barn K, in January. So we're looking around. I'm trying not to find it, Christy. He's trying to find it. I still have horses to braid. And I'm sure you guys can guess which one of us stumbles upon the snake, right? Because I have the luck of, I don't have any luck. So I'm opening the stall for my next horse I have to braid after giving my horse its hay. And lo and behold, as I open the stall, our snake friend is right there. It had crawled underneath the door and was in this horse's stall. And of course, I scream. Scott comments how cute it is. I don't know why people think me screaming is cute, but apparently when I do a squealy, surprise shriek, it's adorable. My husband likes to make me do the noise too. So he comes over with a shovel, and he grabs it with the shovel and picks it up, takes it out of the stall, and he's like, well, I should find a shovel and put it out of its misery because it's not going to survive here. And I was like, don't unalive it. And he's like, what do you think I'm going to do with it, Jen? Take it home? I was like, I don't know. So he's trying to find a metal shovel so he can end its suffering, so to speak, because there's no way for it. And I was like, well, maybe there's a rescue. We're going over the things we can do for this thing. And as we do this, we notice it is making a poor life choice. The snake has decided to exit stage left and slithers out of the building into the snow. And Scott's like, well, Godspeed, Mr. Snake. I don't think you're going to like the outdoors here very much, but there are crueler ways to go. And that is where we leave poor Snake Story. Mr. Snake ventured off into the snow and probably froze, which is not the best way, but not the worst either. But yeah, that was the time there was a snake in the hay. And I, to this day, get paranoid anytime I have an account that I'm covering from a southern state. When I get their hay, I'm always worried there's going to be something in it. Always worried that I'm going to find a unexpected passenger. Guess that was kind of a funny, scary story. Right? I hate snakes. But I also said venomous, not poisonous, everyone. Aren't we proud of me? I have learned. Tripped would be so proud. Nope on a rope, right, Shay? Nope on a rope. Yeah, from a distance, right? The bugs are worse. Yeah. Bugs are bad. I'm not a fan of scorpions either. Petrified. Like Indiana Jones style, right? I just kept picturing Indiana. Snakes? Snakes? Why did it have to be snakes? Yeah. I mean, I pretty much assume that I've used up all of my free passes with snakes because I've stepped on a rattlesnake and then I had that snake fall at my feet. I feel like if I have another encounter with a snake that I will be out of luck. Yeah, I'd rather have a bug. Not a scorpion, though. Scorpions aren't fun either. I would take a spider over a snake, though. Bruce K, thank you for that, Rose. Okay. Donut story time. Shelly, thank you for those braiding unicorns. No mice. See, I can stand mice. I hate rats. Who? Okay, stretch. Aw, Vixen. Thank you for those mystery fireworks. Those are beautiful, Vixen. MVP of fireworks, Vixen. Those were beautiful. Are those new? I don't remember the fireworks with the hearts before. Those are really cool. MVP Vixen. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, we have been doing drama stories. We've been going through grimoires. I thought we'd take a little break and do a different client drama story. This is the client that had a very specific vision of her horse's tail. Her vision did not match reality. So it's kind of a funny story. Maybe a python? Maybe that's the third snake I need to meet, Pierce, so that my third activity is good and not bad. Right? Robin, thank you for those claps. So I had a client several years ago, right as fake tails were becoming super common. So when I first started my breeding business, fake tails were a quarter horse thing. They were viewed as a breed thing, quarter horsey, and people weren't using them. And then they started to gain traction and popularity amongst the hunters. Well, early on in my career, when clients would ask me for my advice, I would give it, which I still do. Well, this client showed me their horse's tail. And she's like, hey, Jen, I'd really like to order my horse a fake tail. What color do you think we should get? And I stepped around the horse's tail, and it was just a jet black tail. It was jet black. There was not a strand of white. There wasn't a strand of red. And I was like, well, I'd recommend a black tail. And she's like, well, that makes sense. She's like, would you order it for me? And I was like, sure thing. So I order her a jet black tail, and it comes in, and it's a perfect match. It looks beautiful. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's just right. So it matches so well that I don't ask her permission to use it. I just use it because it matches. So this is what we wanted. So I braid the horse's tail, put it in. It looks stunning. And I continue braiding. Morning comes, owner comes in, and she goes, hey, Jen, are you going to put the fake tail in my horse? And I was like, it's already in. She's like, oh, the fake tail's in? And I was like, yeah, the fake tail's in. How do you like it? Like it matches perfectly. And she's going, well, I can't even tell it has a fake tail. I really thought like I'd be able to tell. And I was like, well, the whole point of the fake tail is to enhance the horse's visual. You don't want to necessarily see it. And she's like, well, I really wish my horse had more red hairs and white hairs. Can we reorder the fake, but add white and red hairs so his tail will look more interesting? I really want him to have highlights, how we add highlights and lowlights to our heads. I want him to have highlights and lowlights. And I was like, so you want me to order a different tail that has a mix of white and reds and blacks in it, so it'll not match? And she's like, yes, because I really don't like the color of his tail. And if I'm ordering a fake, I'd rather put more colors that I would want him to have. As this is the first time in my career anyone has asked this, it sounded reasonable. Okay, if you're putting extra hair in your horse's tail, having it have other colors in it, why not? Made reasonable sense to me at the time. So I order another tail, and I am stuck with this black tail. This black tail is now mine because I've used it. So that was the start of my fake tail collection. Did I end up selling it? Yes. Well, her new tail comes in, and it is very pretty. It has black hairs, white hairs, red hairs. It's very what I would call Roni looking, because it's a lot of different colors. And I put it in, and it's very obvious. It is so obvious that it's fake, because there is this hair that lays on top or in the center, depending on how I put it in, that is a 100% different color. Like it looks like, not quite like a skunk, but it is very, very obvious that this horse, nope, it was a black bay horse. It was just a solid bay horse with 2 white hind socks. That's it. With a black tail. And I was like, this is what she wanted. But it looked so fake. It looked so unmatching. So she comes in, and I'm waiting for her to be disappointed like I'm disappointed. Like, I am disappointed. And she goes, oh my God, like, this is so much better. I love it. I love all the colors. His hair has so much more dimension. And I was like, you like it? And she's like, yeah, it's great. Trainer comes in. Trainer sees it and goes, that is hideous. Get it out of that horse. And the owner gasps. She's like, how can you think it's hideous? It's beautiful. I love all the additional colors. This is what I wanted. And the trainer looks at me and she goes, am I wrong? I think it looks hideous. Like, it matches not at all. And I was like, it does not match per her request. And the trainer's like, she pulls me aside. Like, and when I say she pulls me aside, she grabs a hold of my bicep, pulls me around the corner, away from the client, away from the horse. And she goes, did she actually ask you to order that, like, custom for him? And I said, she sure did. She's like, Jennifer, it doesn't match. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, what do I do? And I was like, I don't know. It's your client. It's her horse. What do you want to do? And she's like, I'm going to be embarrassed standing at the ring. And I was like, now, come on. There are worse fashion choices than a tail that doesn't match. Like, you will survive standing at the ring with her. If it makes her happy and she pays her bills and she likes horse showing, does it really matter? And she's like, yes. And I was like, no. The client's happy. Let her go be happy. So we come back and the trainer's like, well, if you like it, then we'll go with it. Well, so the client is really pleased. Super duper pleased. She's so happy with herself. She feels beautiful. She feels her horse looks beautiful. And she mounts up for her classes and heads out to the ring. And that's when the whispers start, Christy. Everybody's whispering. They're like, the tail doesn't match. Because this is back when fake tails were uncommon. So people were already like, you know, that isn't what they wanted. But she feels beautiful. She loves all of the attention. And she goes around and she gets good scores. The judge doesn't penalize her for it. And she feels pretty. And she actually gets a great undersaddle ribbon. She gets such a good undersaddle ribbon that she, in her mind, has determined that him standing out by having a more colorful tail in the undersaddle got him a better ribbon because she was more noticeable. So they're gossiping, they're talking, the trainer's feeling embarrassed, the client's really happy, and the trainer's like, well, she did get a better ribbon in the undersaddle. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna say this real loud for everybody to hear. It doesn't matter if the tail matches. What matters is the client is incredibly happy and enjoying her experience. So if this makes her happy and she doesn't mind the whispers, if anything, she's enjoying causing a little stir, then let her have a stir. Let her enjoy herself. And that horse used that fake tail for its 10-year career. And for its 10 years, guys, she created a stir, and everybody knew it was fake, and everybody knew that it didn't match. It never matched, but she was happy, and she loved all the highlights. She did at one point ask me if it was possible to like dye her horse's tail so it would have more highlights and lowlights. And I said, sure, it's possible, but she's going to have to find somebody else to do it because I am not versed in color theory. And I would have no clue how to do that. She never did find a hairstylist that was willing to like put highlights and lowlights in the horse's tail. She just kind of went around with her gloriously colored mixed tail in her horse's black tail, causing a little stir behind her wherever she went. Yeah, right, Christy? Like that was just her. Now, that was not as much of a stir as the client that asked me to put a black tail on a white horse with a white ass tail, deliberately wanting to look like a skunk. But and it wasn't Halloween. Yeah, she was happy. And when it comes down to it, horse showing for 90% of my clients is a hobby that they're paying a lot of money and working really hard for. So if it's not hurting the horse and it's not hurting anyone else, them having a unique style choice is their choice. Right? And that's really what should matter. Too often in our society, we get so wrapped up with making sure we're conforming. And sometimes it's good to stand out as long as we're doing what brings us joy. And it isn't harming anyone in the process. Literally, like, no horses or humans were harmed by having a mismatched fake tail. I kind of feel that way sometimes when an owner braids their own horse and they don't turn out as well and they're embarrassed about their braids. And I'm going, the braids, if they're not hurting your horse and you got it done, that's all that really matters. They don't have to be perfect. We're not solving world peace here. It's just a horse show. Now, me as a professional, should I do a good job because I'm being paid for a service? Of 100%. 100%. I'm a professional. I should have good work ethic and do a nice job because that is what I'm getting paid to do. But if an owner takes the time and the effort to braid their own and it's less than stunning, well, that isn't going to end, like, the horse show's not going to come to a halt. They're not going to get eliminated. The world doesn't cease to turn, right? Oh no, their braids aren't as perfect. The world will still keep turning. Oh, Kylie. Yes, isn't he beautiful? He has the cutest ears too. He has long ears. I love them. He's so adorable. Oh. Bruce, it's about tail time. We got a forelock, and then we got a tail. Oh, his ears. See, he has really, real big ears. I do love a horse with big ears. I like cute little ones too, but really long ears, they're just so cute. Yeah, his ears like a bunny. He's like, I have bunny ears. Yeah, look at him. He's like, well, everything on me is long. He's like, I'm just long all over. He's like, I got a long neck. I got a long face. I got long ears. Oh, Trini, 100%. Hot pink. I mean, you saw me with Ralphie. He had pink. Lucy had pink. He is stunning, isn't he? And his braids are so pretty. He does remind me of Sinatra. Actually, he reminds me of Zeus more than Sinatra. Right? It's not, it would be what makes you happy, Trini. Hot pink ain't gonna hurt anybody. And if it brings you joy, then other opinions really don't matter. Oh, his name is Yahoo. Isn't that a funny name? Spelled just like the search engine. Thank you, Lisa Sweet. Brooke, thank you for your first gift. And joining the fan club. Now, that fan club membership lasts for 7 days, love. So when you join the live again, in the future, you'll have access to stickers. Unfortunately, when we're in Superfan only chat, you can't comment. But when you come back in the future, you'll be able to comment and use the fan club stickers. Thank you for helping with that goal. I don't know how many left we have until we reach that fan club goal. Yeah, right. Proud Mama Reborn. Thank you for that, Daily Heart Me. Yahoo! Amanda, Kitty, thank you for those heart me's. Kitty, thank you for that heart me. I know, buddy. He was like, that was too fast. Don't be so fast, Jennifer. Shenanigans. Thank you for joining the fan club. Okay. Ugh. Okay. I know, Yahoo's like, your ladder's right there. Okay, Yahoo. Peppermint time. No pom-poms. We're being super conservative for finals. Come on, Fred. Freddy, that way. That way, Fred. Ask Jeeves. Jeeves would be a good horse name. Yeah, I could have sworn you had yarn on your halter. I always put yarn on the halter when I'm behind them, just in case he freaks out. He won't get stuck. Because horses in a flight reaction that gets stuck, it's super dangerous, super fast. Fred, do you want to sit in the car, baby? Why don't you go ahead and go up in the car? Go on. There we go. Thank you, Shenanigans, for that Braden unicorn. Yahoo. Okay, tail time. Tail time. We have 10 more heart me's before another story time. 10 heart me's. I do love our heart me currently too. It is really cute. I think it's such a cool thing that we can now adjust the heart me. Thank you guys. Chaotic Aries, Race Princess, Hides Bear, Sunday, Sabina, Sean, thank you for those heart me's. Gabby, Paul, thank you for those heart me's. CC, thank you for that heart me. Sneaky. Thank you for that, Heart Me. And you guys, you knocked out that goal. Knocked it out. Knocked it out. That means another story time. Yeah, I am in by Lexington. We're going to get some storms soon, which is why I'm going to get this tail in. And then I'm going to say goodbye to you guys. Yeah, I feel like we've been like endless storms. There we go. That's just some texturizing powder. Come here. Here we go. Okay, perfect, Allie. Thank you so much for the heads up. For 2 hours, Shelly? Yeah. Yesterday we had storms for hours too. I need to do baby braids. Okay. So I'm starting him off with some small braids because his hair is a little short at the top. Just because I don't want him to have hair sticking up. It's in Knoxville. I was really hoping we weren't having bad storms yet again. Yahoo, thank you. Yahoo is a tall drink of water, guys. So yeah, if you have short hairs at the top, doing some little starter braids can really help prevent the hair from sticking all over the place. It's clear now? Good. You had bad storms earlier too? He is amazing. It seems to be storm season. Okay, Yahoo. Yahoo thinks I'm skinny, guys. Simply Carrie. Nice to see you, love. Yahoo is thinking I am thinner than I am because he is putting me in a place in his stall. One more. Thank you. That I do not fit. I'm like, I don't fit there, Yahoo. I don't fit. Simply Carrie, thank you for all those gifts. We do have a story time coming up, Simply Carrie. Once I get in a rhythm with the top of his tail, he's being a little antsy. So I'm going to wait until I get into a rhythm and he settles in. Because I need space. And when he shoves me against the wall, that is not space. I am not by myself. There's people here. I do get nervous if I'm by myself and no one's there. That's some of our spooky story times. Really? We're going to hold our tail completely on our hip today? That's a new one. You did not do that yesterday, Yahoo. Are you showing off for the chat? He says, I'm showing off for the chat. He's like, look at what I can do. His tail, like, in case you guys are wondering, like, his tail is completely on his hip. Yeah, I'm going to have to move my car soon, though. Or the mounted police will come get me. We're going to see if I can get his tail to not be on his hip. Come on. But also don't shove me into the wall. Yahoo! Yesterday you were so good about your tail. He's like, yes, I was good yesterday, Jennifer. You're welcome. You're welcome. He's like, I would like everybody to see how good you are at compensating for a horse's tail position. How that even though I'm completely twisting it on my right side, you're going to make it completely straight, which I will. But Foxy Mama, it's way harder to do this way than if he would just hold it in its natural position. He's like, but what if this is my natural position, Jennifer? Thank you guys, Dee Dee, Zeebs. Oh, thank you. Anybody who says that they cannot move their tail while being braided or while it's braided has not watched this happen, guys. Story time. I had looked at my cheat sheet. I had a story time. And now I can't look at my cheat sheet. Oh, he has been stubborn this morning. He's like, well, I already got my peppermint. Now we're going to put it on the other cheek. Yahoo. Stop. He's like, Jen, you thought you were going to like braid a tail live. And he stood like a rock yesterday. And today we're being seesawing. Okay. You were a rock yesterday. Today we are a jellyfish. Okay, come on, honey. Come on. Come on. Yahoo. He's like, I don't want to stand in a way that is conductive to braiding my hair. Oh. Yeah, he's having a Yahoo day. He has been so good up until this point. Okay. I think we might be settling in. Let's see if I can look at my story times. Ah, yes. Speaking of bad weather. So, here, if we actually have a tornado siren go off, there is storm shelters. We would have to seek the restrooms in the center of the park. Oh, he's being sassy. Yeah. Gray horses and camouflage. When we're at the World Equestrian Center, we actually have more storm shelters than we do here in Kentucky. And one very scary summer horse show, we had really severe weather. A really strong tornado producing cell was headed right for our facility. The sirens were going off, and it was severe enough that, I need to backtrack. It was severe enough that not only did security come and round everybody up. So security came through, rounded up all the braiders, and went to every person staying on the property, campground, hotel, and the HomeAways. So anybody staying on property, security knocked on your door and was like, hey, we need to evacuate all buildings. You need to seek shelter. We have a severe possible tornado heading our way. We have about 10 minutes. So I was braiding in lower A. It's about 1 o'clock in the morning. I had already braided 2 horses when all of a sudden, because guess who didn't come and warn me about the tornado? As I was already in the storm shelter, braiding away, no security came to tell me. The first thing I see is the owner of the horse I'm currently breeding walk in with their pajamas on. Like, not just kind of pajamas, but like pajamas, like a camisole and shorty shorts. And she went, "You're already braiding my horse?" And I was like, "What are you doing up? It's 1:30 in the morning." And she's like, "They're evacuated everyone from the homeaways and from the campground, and they're telling us to go to certain storm shelters. And because my horse is here, I wanted to go see my horse." And she's like, "Why is he already getting braided?" I was like, "Because you show at 7:30 in the morning." And she's like, "Okay, fair." She's like, "I just always assume that he gets braided like at 6 o'clock in the morning right before I come." And I was like, "Well, sometimes he does. Today he's not." So I keep braiding her horse because at this point, like, the jig's already up. She's already knows he's getting braided. And pajama citizens are pouring in. I got kids with teddy bears. I got, oh my God, Yahoo. Dude. I got kids with teddy bears. And it turns into a Jen Braids live performance. I have owners coming up asking questions about the braids. I have small children hanging off the bottom of my ladder going, asking questions about braiding and the horse. It was one of my very first experiences entertaining the public, essentially, while braiding, because there was nothing else to do. There's no service in Lower A, so nobody could look at their cell phones. We're all waiting out this storm. Well, then things got bad. So I'm in the middle of braiding. I have 2 children at the end of my ladder when we have debris start hitting the side of the building. And by debris, I mean trash cans, outdoor jumps, fencing that broke off, tree limbs is hitting the side of the building loud because the storm is so close. And to be honest, the tornado was so close. So I get off my ladder because the horse is starting to freak out because, things are hitting the side of the building. And we gather up the children against walls because we've entered the real core stage of this is serious. We might actually be in a severe natural disaster sort of event. And not all the horses are in storm shelters. We might be called upon to act in the capacity of emergency volunteers to help horses that may be in trouble because of a tornado. So owners start freaking out and wanting to leave the shelter to go to their horses. Security is there. Security is telling owners, Yahoo, stop, dude. Are telling owners to stay put. It's not safe. They're talking. They're watching the radar through. They have inner radios. So one of the people is at a place that has service in one of the other storm shelters, watching the radar. They're talking with, maintaining the National Weather Service. Things are hitting the side of. We hear hail. It's like, how close is this tornado? The tornado was within a mile of us. We got real lucky, and it did not hit the property. It did hit neighboring homes and farms and businesses. But we got really lucky that day that all that happened was story time in pajamas and some minor damage to roof, buildings, jumps. But no humans or horses were harmed that day. But it was a really scary thing. Not just because we had a tornado, but because I had a client or clients doing random midnight inspections on their horses' braids. It was like, okay, one of my worst sort of nightmares is having clients come in the middle of the night and going, the mystery of every horse getting braided at 6 a.m. when I have 10 horses that go at 6 a.m. is ruined. Because everybody likes to think that their horse was the last one done. And sometimes that's true. Sometimes it's not. It all depends on the day. Not everybody can be last. So yeah, that was a rough day, guys. So that's kind of like a mini bonus spooky story time. Bonus spooky story time. Thank you guys for all of those fan clubs, for being in the fan club and sending those heart me's. We appreciate you. And now we are almost done with Yahoo. He was extra challenging today. Ooh, and I hear a rumble of thunder, so it might be just in time. Okay, dude. Oh, okay. Oh my God. I don't know why we keep pushing me against the wall. No, I have a one that I need to do off live that goes later. So I will be taking a break with this weather. And then I got to do Saffron's tail later too, because her tail is in rough shape. But almost done. Almost done, Shadow. And then I will be packing up the camper and heading home and hopefully seeing Ralphie sometime later today. Yeah, thank you, Shadow. Now, everybody who hasn't already done so, please claim your points. Oh, gosh, right? Just for a couple minutes, Yahoo. By clicking on that orange cart in the upper left-hand corner. No, we have music. I won't be able to hear the thunder because of the radio. Thank you, guys. Tina, thank you for being in the fan club for so long. Okay, we're good. I would like to say I could tell whether or not his tail was straight, but since he won't hold it straight, I'm just hoping, guys. I'm just hoping. He's offended. Okay. And the music is our cue, everyone. I'm going to give I am still going to give him an extra treat because he has overall been a good boy. And as much as he was wiggly for his tail, that is not the end of the world. Yeah, thank you, Allie. When I'm all safe and the storms are all done, I will try to do an update today so that you guys know we're safe. Hello, sir. He says yes. Okay, good. Okay. I will give everybody an update. Love you all. Have a fantastic Sunday. And until next time, I will try, because I don't have a horse show next week, to actually have a weekly live schedule that I will pin on my profile, because we should have planned lives, right? Have a great day, everybody. Have a great Sunday. Love you all.